and welcome to another episode of the Struggling Creatives. Is if the
Wow. Wow. 2022. Let's go.
the struggle begins. I'm gonna do that again.
All right.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Struggling Creatives. If this is your first time tuning into this podcast, we are the Struggling Creatives. I am Obi.
And my name is Tim.
Welcome. So today we are kicking off with our first episode for the year.
2022.
How'd you feel about that?
I'm very excited. I know I had a lot of conversations about like what's going to be happening with this new year. How, my expectations of life. A lot of resolutions that I wrote down. I think I have around 10.
Yeah.
I know we shared a couple of those on last week on our
We did.
On our
Last 7th episode, Happy New Year episode.
Happy New Year. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Sure.
we had a live stream on Instagram.
That's right, baby.
And I told people that everything I said during the last episode, they should pretend like they didn't hear it because I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
it's so early in the year, but I already know I'm not going to keep to the resolution. So
All right.
I'm being honest with y'all.
Okay. So right now, what is it? Second week into the
New Year.
new year. Is
Yeah.
it second or third?
Second week.
Second week.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then okay. So none of the things that you said are planning out. You're
Honestly,
quitting.
I feel like the only thing I'm going to do is take care of myself. Every other thing about learning how to play chess and all of that.
I remember.
I don't see it happening. Maybe it will,
Okay.
but I'm not putting pressure on myself
Gotcha.
to achieve those things.
Gotcha. Okay. Because taking care of yourself is already a huge achievement.
It's a lot. It's expensive to take care of this.
Wow. Oh, okay. All right. Starting off with a high note here.
Yeah, well, I just want to say this again because I remember a couple of people asking me, do we have a video version of this?
Yeah.
Yes. So if you're listening to this on Apple Podcast, Spotify, you can watch our facial expressions on YouTube.
Thank
so
you.
if you want to do that,
Yeah.
please do. Let's get the views up as well.
Listen, I'm always down for a new audience. If you're watching us right now, you can tell that my hair is a mess right now. I'm not sure what's happening with the world, but I think in Ukraine right now it's snowing.
Yeah.
It is -degrees, which is terrifying, and I've been struggling with just keeping up my skin routine. So.
Yo, that is a struggle. Like, everything is so dry. I've been coughing for, I don't know, weeks now.
Oh, jeez.
I finished a bottle of cough syrup.
Okay.
And it's just,
Hey. Okay.
I don't know what's going on. But anyway, let's talk about your resolution since you're the only one who's like,
All
like keeping to it.
All
What's
right.
up? What's happening? What have you started doing?
Oh
Have
my
you made your
goodness.
first million already?
Wow. Okay. Right off the bat. Why you have to set me up like this where it's like, oh, no, I'm not. Well. Failure. No, I think that there are a couple of things that I wanted to do personally, and that's something that we're going to touch on at the end of the episode.
Okay.
But kind of like a brief synopsis of what's been happening with me this year. I want to invest. I'm terrible with small talks.
Okay.
As you can tell, that's why probably we started this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm terrible with small talk, so I want to build on like true friendships or true relationships where I can talk to somebody without jeopardizing the authenticity of our conversations. A little bit about health. I started doing these push-ups and crunches.
Painful.
You think that working out is painful every day? Try to take care of applying a moisturizer in your face, moisturizer on your hands. Try to survive this cold weather. I still keep on wearing running shoes instead of like boots and stuff like that, even though it's snowing.
Why do you do that to
It's just so
yourself?
much more comfortable.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't get frostbites or anything?
Only with my attitude.
Oh, great.
If that's
Totally understandable.
if that's something
Yeah.
that can be done.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but what I do is every day, it doesn't matter because it's like a bulletproof idea, okay? Trust me, I thought about this. So every day, let's say there's 365 days in a year. What I have decided is that on day 1, I will do 1 push-up and 1 crunch. Day 2, I'll do two push-ups and two crunches. Day 3, I totally missed out. I totally forgot I was doing that.
Wow.
But it's okay because on day 4, I
You
did
did
4
4.
push-ups and 4 crunches.
Cool.
And so by like, let's say you are a day 149, you're sometime in like April or May, right?
Yeah.
You completely miss out on that day. It's totally fine because the next day is 150. So you do 150 push-ups,
How did
150.
you go from 140 to 150 in the span of one day?
Dude, I have no idea. I don't teach math.
All right, cool.
Days right now, especially where my work is seasonal, which
Yeah.
means thankfully I have breaks.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm telling you, anytime somebody says they remember the day between Christmas, the December 25th, and the New Year, I have no idea. It's just one blurry day that I took a nap, and that's it.
And had something to eat. Like, I feel like people are just eating and
Yeah.
sleeping during those seasons.
Fair
Great.
enough. Fair enough.
Cool. I had class, so
Oh.
I'm not gonna bore y'all with that information.
Oh, please
Great.
tell
So
us.
if
We're
you're doing the
curious.
140 push-ups,
Yeah.
do you like break it down maybe 10 in the morning and 10 at noon?
Oh, 100%. Trust me, I'm
Okay.
terrible at this.
Okay.
Yeah, I might do 10 at a time, 20 at a time or something like that. But that's the thing is like anytime you wake up in the morning, you know that there's a specific amount of push-ups and crunches. But that's something that like I want to build a systematic consistency with me. Like I know that there's something that I have to do that day. Once I'm done, I feel like I've accomplished something. So everything else is just a pleasant bonus.
Yeah. Totally get that. Like once I wake up
Yeah.
and I press my phone and I send a good morning message to the world,
Okay.
I feel like I've done enough.
All
for
right,
that
Obi.
day. I've done
All
so
right,
much
Obi.
for that day. Well, let's
Good
see.
morning, world.
Yeah, good morning, world. It's a beautiful day. I hope you're well and rested.
Oh, dang.
Let's see. What have you been watching these days?
Oh my goodness. I've watched the Spider-Man No Way Home. Have you
Okay.
seen that movie?
I have not.
Really?
No, I haven't. I was going to
Okay.
with my friends, and the day before,
Yeah.
I started having this ear aches, and it felt like something was ringing in my ear, and I was like
Oh, I
going
hate that.
crazy. So I
Yeah.
had to cancel, and they went ahead and watched it without me. I was like, wow, friends would say,
Wow.
we'll wait for you, but no,
Yeah.
these ones went ahead. So I will
True
have
friendship right there. You.
That's like they're my best friends. So I have to schedule another time and
Yeah.
see it. But I kind of know what happens because like the internet is just
Terrible.
yeah, people don't know how to keep things to themselves.
Oh, okay. I
so
got
they're
it.
like spoilers everywhere.
Oh, okay. So what
Yeah.
kind of spoilers? By the way, we're gonna be talking about this for a second, so skip a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
What kind of spoilers did you hear about?
Well, he went to Doctor Strange and he wanted people to not remember
Okay.
that he is Spider-Man because of can't remember the first guy that exposed him.
What?
Wasn't it the guy who exposed Spider-Man?
The first guy who
The
exposed
guy who exposed Spider-Man.
Mysterio, Jake
Yeah,
Gyllenhaal.
exactly.
Oh my
Mysterio,
goodness,
I
that
was
is
trying to remember.
not
So-
sounding weird. He's a very attractive man.
I don't remember how it looks like.
I
So-
imagine somebody who's a very attractive, and that's him.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Bulletproof.
he wanted people to not remember, and then there was Zendaya. He wanted her to remember. He wanted his best friend to remember. He wanted his aunt to remember. And then I remember something about getting into MIT
Okay.
and people.
That's a lot of spoilers.
Yeah, it's a lot. So
What
that's
in the
like as
world?
far as I know. I
Yeah.
don't know how it ended though.
Okay.
So
Do you want to know or
no,
do you?
I don't.
Okay, I
I'm
gotcha.
gonna go watch it.
Yeah, I'm a person who watched the first trilogy
Mhm.
with Spider-Man with
Mhm.
Tobey Maguire.
Mhm.
He looked awkward all the time. He just looked like he has no emotions. And that's exactly how it would look like in the first the him. Then Andrew Garfield. I don't know. I hope I look like him. Just because a couple of people messaged me and be like, you look like him, and I'm like, thank you. I've been saying that ever since 2012. But my hair right now is a mess.
Yeah, great.
It looks like a mop.
It does.
Wow, Obi. Wow. Okay.
I feel like I'm supposed to say, oh no, it doesn't.
There you
You're
go. You
good."
have to protect my emotions, my
I
feelings.
am. But I also have to tell you the truth as well, right?
I don't know. On the
So-
very rarest of occasions, I want to be secured. I want to be in that bubble that nobody hurts me.
I'll try. I'll do better.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Okay.
as she says, as about. No, no, no. Thank you very much. Yes.
Yeah. So what else have you seen?
Well, I'm a person who I don't know. I've been sticking to Netflix. I always watch The Office. It doesn't matter day or night, seasons,
Never
whatever.
fails, doesn't disappoint.
It's The Office is like that steady friend that you. I'm
You
about
don't
to.
talk to for a long time, but whenever you guys connect, it's
Yeah, yeah.
a
That
wonderful
that is so
friendship.
much better than I was about to say. Honestly, I'm about to have some enemies here.
Okay.
Yes. It's like you know the person will always be there for you no
Mm.
matter what. Sometimes you could be mean to that person. It doesn't matter. They're always there for you.
Be a better friend.
I should be a better friend, yes.
Yeah, I know that usually during the Christmas season, people binge watch all the Office Christmas episodes. So you could like go on
Oh.
Pinterest and there are different types of graphic design on the Office
Huh.
Christmas episodes. It's a thing. I think I'm doing it for the past 3 years now. Just like watch
Dang.
all the Christmas
Let's
episodes.
go. That's why.
It's
That's
very
why.
interesting.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Personally, I've kind of been looking for something fun,
Mhm.
interesting to watch, comedy, because there's
Okay.
a lot going on in life. And then someone told me,
You need a laughter up. Yeah.
yeah. So someone told me to watch Don't Look Up. They're like, oh, it's kind of
Oh my
satire. And I was like, I kind of liked it.
Did you the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Honest
thought it was
thoughts.
funny.
Go ahead.
I really thought it was funny. Like it was something light. It wasn't that deep.
Oh, so the
Um,
world ending was funny to you?
You see, now you're going deep. That's a problem.
The whole premise of the movie.
Well, that's the
whole
you know it's a movie. You know it wasn't gonna happen. Like watching it, not being in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Like
So-
you as an observant.
Exactly.
Observant? As you
Yeah.
as a person
You
who
watching
observes?
it, you're observing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was chill.
Okay.
I don't get why people were, trying to beat it up or anything.
Well, to me, it felt like there were a lot of. I always overthink things, so that's why I'm never happy. So
Oh my
I'm so
God.
sorry.
I'll get you chocolate.
New year, new
Will that
me.
make you happy? Chocolate?
Chocolate is okay. Yes,
Okay.
I like chocolate. I like the movie. I was a little bit confused on some parts. It was definitely funny because at some parts I'm like, there were these pauses that I'm confused. Like, why are there pauses?
Mm-hmm.
But then I liked because it felt like a couple of different. It felt like they had a lot of writers for the movie.
Okay.
Because every 20 minutes or so, I felt like it was a separate viewpoint of the end of the world. And I think that's something that, like, I really enjoyed it because in the beginning, they were like, spoiler alert, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know, the doctor and the lady, both of them
Yeah.
doctors, they were like nervous and freaking out and like the end of the world. And then the girl disappears and then the guy becomes this cute astronomer, right?
Right. That was just.
If-
Anyway.
Then he started, shacking that lady,
Yeah.
messing around with her,
The news reporter.
the news reporter, and
Yeah.
then I was cheering for the girl, Jennifer Lawrence,
Mm-hmm.
and then that was like a third different perspective, and then closer to like, then the rich billionaire came in, and I'm like, if you combine Jeff Bezos,
Okay. Yeah.
Zuckerberg,
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, who else?
Those guys.
Somebody else, Bill Gates, I don't know. All of them, that would be that guy.
That would be the-
Because
yeah.
he never had an eye contact.
Yeah.
It was always over the
I
phone.
mean, they announced it in the beginning when he was doing like a show
Mm-hmm.
that don't make any eye contact with him and things like that. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
weird. But anyway,
Huh.
I liked the way it ended. No, not the ending itself, because the way it ended was
the world blowing up.
No,
Okay.
no, the way it ended was when they like a couple of thousand years later, and when they went to a new planet or something.
Oh, yeah.
And then the president got eat up by that special bird,
Mm-hmm.
I guess. Not that part. I like the part where the whole family came together to like have their last meal. It's like
Oh.
the Last Supper, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they held their hands together and the world ended. That was like
That
if
was
the
sweet.
world was ending, I would want to do that.
Okay, real talk. So
Yeah.
if the world was ending,
Yeah. It
I'm
feels
about
like a
to see.
JP Saxe
Yeah, JPC. Yeah, if the world was ending, when you come over,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Sorry to
So
anybody who was listening to
I
that.
wouldn't want to panic. I mean, there's already so much going on in the world now. It's
Mhm.
crazy. Like panicking isn't gonna do anything. The world is gonna end at the end of the day. So you might
Dang.
as well just spend it with people you love. Have your last meal and be like,
Wow. And peace out, baby.
and see you soon, Jesus. You know.
Wow.
But yeah,
Okay.
I really liked it. It was a light movie.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't something that honestly comedy these days. I feel like people shouldn't take it serious. Like I know
Mm.
people are gonna come for me, but there's this Nigerian movie that came out
Oh boy.
too
Talk
called
to me.
Chief Daddy 2. There's a
Cheap Daddy 2.
chief, like you're a
Chief
chief.
Daddy.
Yeah. So there's a part one. This is part two, and there's a lot of slander about it on the internet, saying that
Oh.
it wasn't great. Like the writers are messed up, and it was supposed to be comedy. I found it funny, and that's that. Laugh about it and
Really?
move on, right?
Chief Daddy. What is it about it? What is it
It's
about?
about this rich man that passed away and then
Mm-hmm.
had a couple of inheritance, but this he has a lot of children.
Okay.
So this one daughter is like the new CEO of the company, said she's not gonna give like
Ooh.
the money to the rest of the family, things like that.
Okay.
Anyway,
Dang. Okay.
I
Chief
found it
Daddy.
funny. People will tell you don't waste your time watching it. You're gonna lose brain cells. But honestly, just
Right here. Sign me up. The
just
world is
watch
so messed up.
something
I'm
and,
willing to sacrifice a couple of brain cells.
Yeah, so
Okay.
but that's about it. Like really, things on Netflix or shows in general these days.
Yeah.
I know there are people that's their job to be critical about movies, right,
Mhm.
and give reviews. But if that's not your job, enjoy yourself and just watch it. If it's
Gotcha.
pissing you off, leave it and move to something else.
I had a conversation about that recently with somebody who's talking about like, if you don't like it, don't watch it.
Oh.
If you like it, just keep on watching. Oh, we were talking about movies and shows with my friend and I. We were talking about it, and I'm like, I have to know about the writer, the screenplay. Why did they create it? I have to know the background story of how
Yeah.
the show was created because I'm always fascinated by it.
Yeah.
Speaking of, there is one show that is on Netflix, and I think they started showing it on other platforms. It's called Abstract.
Oh, I
I don't,
haven't heard of it.
okay, so it's kind of like the way where art is such a subjective thing where you are able, like, the way you interpret is going to be relating to you, right? The way I see a painting of like dim red, the whole painting is just red, but you would see it as one thing. I would see it as a different thing because my emotions related to something
Yeah.
one thing you could be related to others. But the show itself talks about how you take a subject and you try to create your version of it. And it talked about how your writing style, which, by the way, are you still planning?
Yes, I am. So I started this new like Midnight Chronicles because I'm always awake.
Okay.
And yeah, I sleep by 5 a.m. now, so I just spend time writing and
Jeez.
sharing it with people.
All right. Yeah.
Abstracts, talk about your
All
talking
right.
about abstract.
So, it's basically it. Like, it talked about an architector. Architecture who builds buildings, and he's being inspired by countries that the building is in, by different individuals, the culture itself. There's another episode that talks about fonts. I've never really realized how much energy and thought goes into fonts.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
even over here, I'm telling you, this
Yeah.
was.
So there was a time, like I think beginning of last year,
Mhm.
I was getting into like creating websites with WordPress and things like that,
Yeah.
and I had to learn a little bit about fonts, and I was going crazy. I was like, why is there so much? And
Yeah.
some of them, they look so identical, and then maybe like when you're looking at the number or something,
Mhm.
there's something different. Or like colors, like you know how they have it as F45B16 and there's F45B17.
Oh yeah, like
For
color
example.
coding and stuff like
Yeah,
that. Color codes.
like
Yeah.
those things are amazing.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, they because, like, for instance, fonts tell their own story. So instead of you using a font to write down an information, use the fonts as the part of information. It blew my mind because people
Yeah.
are like,
And you could tell a person's personality from the fonts that they use as well.
that's true. Yeah. You're like, your personality radiates through that. I remember I watched this episode about who was it? Tank Taylor, the Tank, or something like that. He's the guy who created the Jordans, or helped create, and he worked at the Nikes. And like, his inspiration and the way he would create shoes is that he would pull out different pieces, like little fabric pieces, and he would put it on a white piece of paper, and he would put it together and trying to figure out like, okay, what does this element mean? What does that element mean?
Yeah.
And like the shoe would speak to him, and people were like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. He's like,
People are just so damn creative.
I know.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful to see.
Because I remember I watched that show and I started getting depressed because I'm like,
Why?
I'm like, for a fact, I am not as creative.
It sounds amazing. It sounds like a show I would want to watch.
Oh, 100%. They have a second season that I haven't watched yet. But the first one is really good. I think that's something that I enjoyed. There's somebody else that would like, I don't know if you've heard of this art, what is it called? A journal or a magazine called The New Yorker.
Yeah.
And it's basically just like, this guy worked with cartoons and different stores, and he told like the morals, that the kind of like the ethics and stuff like that through cartoons, which I really appreciate that because you know, since both of us are looking for the world to end.
No, that's not what we
Oh,
said.
man.
But
Yeah.
okay.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. And obviously our mutual love for Down to Earth, but it's whatever. Yeah.
They need to bring out the new season. Is it out?
I haven't seen anything
It's taking
yet.
too long.
So Down to Earth is basically about the second most handsome man in the world, Zac Efron. You can fight me over it. And his friend, I forgot his name. I'm so sorry. I'll look it up. I'll make sure to remember. But what they did is they went around the world and tried to figure out how can they preserve the world by using renewable energy. And I remember there was an episode about bees, an episode about using water as an energy source, not just, those sun roofs. What is it? Solar roofs, sun roofs. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Honestly, I feel like that's a dream. That's something I'd like to do in the future. Just like travel sustainably and experience things that way.
Okay.
It's nice.
It's not just Elon Musk who's doing that. It's a lot of people are trying to like countries are investing their resources in that. So it would be really nice. Plus it's such a creative thing. Like where you were using, that's by far I think one of the most creative things that I have noticed last year is using science with creativity.
Yeah.
It's not just science, it's not just creativity. It's like
they're just so good together because science itself is art. And creative art itself is science. When you think about it.
Dang. Can somebody write this down?
Write it down, print a t-shirt, trademark it.
Oh man, that's true.
Yeah.
Science as art and
art in itself.
as science. Oh my goodness. Oh wow.
Now that we're talking about quotes, what are your top quotes of the year?
I wrote a couple of things down here. Do you mind if I share?
Go ahead.
It's about to get really deep. I apologize in advance, but also not. So it's whatever. Quote number 1. I will never be surrounded by the choices that I have today and will never be in the same spot as I am right now. It's bittersweet because I love my life, but I also know that I will never have different things that surround me right now at this moment. So I want to cherish it. I want to preserve everything that I experience right now because I know that it will never be the same tomorrow or in the future.
I felt that in my chest.
Really? Weirdo.
It's so beautiful. Did you write that or you copied it from somewhere?
No. I was sitting in my room, and that's something that like I'm super excited to talk about in the next podcast.
Yeah.
Is like creative spaces, and that's something that I started investing in myself and also in creative spaces. You sit down, no distractions, just think about what kind of impact do you leave for the future generation.
Wow.
And I feel like I need to do something about it. All right. Point number 2, it's not a good time to be lazy because opportunities, they come once. Terrible grammar, but I'm telling you, I was like, wow, I'm so smart.
You're just gonna say it.
But it's just I catch myself every now and then where I get super tired of creating.
Yeah.
And I just start getting lazy because I'm like, somebody else will do it. Somebody else will.
True. I mean, that's also a point that came up when we did the Instagram live, and a lady was like, sometimes she gets tired and she's not putting pressure on herself
Mm-hmm.
to create as much this year only when she can.
Yeah.
And I think that's real. Like, if you feel that way, own it
Mm-hmm.
and be fine with it. Like, no one's gonna be there for you when you're like battling with not creating. They'll be there to cheer
Yeah.
you, like when you post a fire picture, obviously. But behind closed doors, really, we're all going through stuff, right? So if you can't do it, it's fine.
Gotcha.
But yeah, and if you're up to create, like, so there's this thing that people say that when you have like the most energy,
Yeah.
then do as much as you can, because
Mhm.
like there are days that you can't do it,
Yeah.
and then those times if you created something, it's gonna fill up the space,
Okay.
or fill up the time,
Yeah.
right? So if you know that your energy is like on 100, then take 10 pictures, and then you have 10 pictures to post over the days that you don't feel like
That's so smart. Yeah.
doing anything. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's that sometimes I am like that with my Instagram stories,
Mm-hmm.
or if I want to write about it, like a short story or novella or
No,
novella.
it's not novella.
Right. I'm like
The short novels.
short novels. There you go. I don't know anything. So, okay. And the last quote that I wrote down, I only wrote down 3.
Mm-hmm.
The last one is, I don't want to give up on myself.
You don't want to give up on yourself?
I do not want to give
Oh,
up on
that's
myself.
cute.
Get out of here. Oh my gosh.
Like, no one's going to show up for you except you. You know?
Ooh,
So,
dang. Okay.
Can't give up on yourself.
That's
Hold on to the dream.
All right. We lost Obi. Yeah.
I think there's something in this tea that I'm drinking. It's making me too happy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just I feel like there are stories, there are moments that I can quit on them. There are individuals that I can lose touch with, but at the end of the day, I'm intentionally setting the time aside so I can focus on myself.
Yeah.
And it's nothing egocentric. I just know that if I do not impact my life, it's hard to start searching somewhere else in the world.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, that's something that's
I
my
think
quote.
for me, this year is more like, if it's not in front of you, then don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That's true. That's so true.
Yeah.
If it's not a pressing issue, why worry about it?
Just live your best life. Take care of yourself. Enjoy your life. Eat good food. All that stuff.
Wow. Okay. Sounds like we're signing off right now. Speaking of, I think this would be a really good time to kind of hit pause and make sure we save some information for next week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you want me to do the sign?
Yeah, because I'm so confused. I'm like,
All right.
what's happening now? Go ahead.
I just feel like, it would be a good time and not to overload the brains of the listeners, and
Yeah.
I feel like I could use a bathroom right now.
Okay. Great.
But oh man, I'm so terrible at this, so stick with me. Thank you very much for watching. Why does it sound so not personal? Thank you so much for watching
And listening.
and listening.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate all of you. I cannot stop rejoicing when I hear somebody's like, "Hey, I listened to your podcast." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you guys are amazing. Can I buy you something?" How can I say thank you? So, I got to meet a couple of people, and they're like, "I listened to your podcast. It's funny." I'm like, "Yes." People think I'm funny. That's good.
Great. I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't be a stand-up comedian, but now you have a podcast.
There you go. Oh my goodness.
Right.
My unfulfilled dreams. Anyway, this is my 3rd time saying goodbye. No, thank you so much. Stick around. Make sure you rate us on YouTube, Apple Podcast, Spotify. Follow us on Instagram. And tell me about your kind of hopes and dreams for the new year. What are your goals? And yeah, I would be super excited to hear your point of view. Kind of passing off the torch to you guys.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it. Bye.
All right.
Ciao.
Bye.